Good evening, everybody. I'm Pierre Roberge, the Daily Trader. It is April 19th, and we are going to take a look at Tesla stock from a technical analysis perspective. My goal in doing these videos is to help you understand how you can use technical analysis to make better trading and investing decisions. But I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research and make your own decisions. So Tesla today closed $3.72 down. That's 2.02%, closed at 180.59. So let's look at what we have here on the chart. So we just broke down of our upward channel. We were in an upward channel since January 6th. We have been going higher and higher. And we broke that downward channel not too long ago, but we started doing what I call a double support. Sometimes a stock will break a support and go to a parallel support and then come back up. It was possible that this could have done this. So we have been on this double support since April 10th, and we have been going higher and higher towards that double support. And we had as a criteria to break 187.41 in order to start considering that we were going back into this horizontal resistance that we have had. But today, this is not what happens. We broke outside of this upward double resistance, and we also closed back right into this downward channel right here that we have been in since more recently, since February 16th. It was not a good day for Tesla, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart. So on the 1 hour chart, we opened lower, we opened quite low. And then we had one, two, three, four, five straight green candles. We recovered 182. Then for the last candle of the day, we had a big move down. So I think a bunch of people just decided to go out of Tesla before the earnings. In terms of indicators, everything is in the tank. And let's go back to the daily chart quickly before going over the earnings a little bit. In terms of stochastic, we are down to 14, so that's very low. Everything else is super negative. So if we take a look at the earnings call, we have a little bit of a break in terms of the earnings, 0.004. So that's almost nothing. So basically, in terms of the earnings at 0.85, this is what was expected. In terms of the revenues, we fell a little bit short. So Tesla has a gap in terms of revenue of 266 million. That's not a lot, but this is not good news. What is a little bit less interesting is that Tesla's operating margin, a measure of profitability, took a hit, falling to 11.4% from 19.2 in the first 3 months of 2022. Tesla's margin remains among the highest in the auto industry. Ford Motors operating margins was around 4% in 2022, and General Motors was 6%. So Tesla is more profitable than Ford and GM, but it's not as profitable as it was in the past. And if we take a brief look at the financial summary, we can see that the gross margins fell below 20. And this was a concern that we saw during the news this week, that people might be expecting that Tesla might be going under 20% in terms of gross margin. And this is what happened. So 19.3%. And if we look at the past year, it went from 29% to 23%. This is fodder for people to say that Tesla is not doing well. In terms of the operating margins, we see the 11.4%. And in the past, we were at 19, 14, 17, 16. In terms of the adjusted EBITDA margin, 26, 22, 23, 22, 18. Net income is not too bad at 2.9. It was at 2.6 in Q2 of 2022, but more recently it was at 3.6 and 4.1. In terms of earnings per share, GAAP and non-GAAP, let's look at the non-GAAP. Non-GAAP at 0.85. It was at 119 not too long ago, and 105. Net cash provided by operating activities at 2.5. It was at 3 and at 5 just 2 quarters prior. The capital expenditure, so Tesla is spending a little bit more. They are ramping up two big factories and also ramping up the Cybertruck production line. In terms of free cash flow, 441 million. That's not super good. In terms of cash position, the cash and cash equivalents and investment still at 20 billion. In terms of financial strength of the company, there's no problem. There's really pressure on its margins. It's not the best quarter that they had. It's going to be interesting to see what is going to happen with the stock market on Tesla tomorrow morning. If it breaks 176.73, this is what I will be watching. If it breaks if it breaks 176.73 right here, because we have some kind of a support right here. We touched this support on April 10th, and we also lasted the week, March 14. We have lasted a week right there on that support also. So if we break 176.73, we are going down to 167. If we if we break 167, then we are really going to be into this downward channel right here. It is sad. Tesla is a great company, but what can you do? The worth of one Tesla stock is not determined that much by fundamental aspects of the company. It's determined by the perception of the people. And if the percent of the people is negative, then the stock is going to go down, regardless of the relatively great position that Tesla is in compared to other automakers. This is how it works. And this is why we are doing technical analysis. If we could only look at the fundamental of a company in order to decide to buy its stock, I would not be doing technical analysis. I do technical analysis because it's what's work. Let's take a look at QQQ a little bit. So QQQ, nothing to see here. This is in a congestion zone again. Still great. This is maintaining itself. VIX is coming down 0.39. 2.32% closed at 1645. So VIX is continuing its way down. This should be helping the stock market. Dow Jones is just going sideways. S&P 500 also going sideways and bouncing a little bit on support at 4133. Nasdaq going sideways also with still a great stochastic. Gold coming down a little bit, a green candle, but we are losing stochastics. This should be continuing its way down. It could stop right here. It could stop right here at 1528, or it could stop a little bit lower at 1509. Silver, it's rebounding a little bit with still. So silver is doing better than gold. Bitcoin, after this move down, it's stabilizing. We have lost stochastics, so be very careful about this. The same thing with Ripple. After this big move down, we have a very weak green candle, but really we are getting really close to 0.47. And the dollar is, I like to see this. I like to see this candle. This is a very small candle, but the low is quite higher than it was for the past couple of days. So I like to see this. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great evening. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.